Pulling the old hard body back into the shop. Surely nothing's gonna go wrong in this episode, right?
All right, so before we even get started with this, I want to give a huge shout out to the shop winch. Been the second time I use it, another flawless execution. So thanks to the kid for helping me out. And, because we're going to try and start this off on a positive note. Reason being, we got the hard body back in the shop. So things haven't always gone the best, as you might remember. If you don't, go back and watch the last episode on this thing. The kid will put a little thing up in, wherever he puts it. And you can see, after I redid the whole fuel system on this thing, and I thought it was good to go, I obviously missed something. Because as soon as I turned the key, it just let loose, right? Dumped everywhere. So I was thinking that the problem was where I left that one bolt out, right? Because it was broke off and all that, the whole thing. I was like, okay, maybe it pressurized and boom. But Kevin's thinking, and I like his way of thinking because it involves less work for me. He's thinking that what happened is I missed a clamp or on like a feed line or something like that. Because, and I think this does make sense. There shouldn't be that much pressurization that it's going to start dumping like that. That looked like the fuel pump was pumping it out. Hopefully that's what it is, because maybe I won't need to drop the tank that, I put 5 gallons in. So hopefully that's the case. We'll find out. We put this thing up on some jacks, get underneath it, and see if we can pinpoint the leak. But in Pugliese speed shop fashion, we got to get it on the board, right? So here you go. This guy right here. We're worried about this guy. That's the problem. That one, before we even worry about this guy here, let's get this guy figured out. All right, so we got the truck up on jacks, or one jack and a stand next to it, because, we got to put safety in there somewhere. And pull the wheel off so I can kind of get into the wheel well to see what's going on. I don't know that I'll be able to, but kid's coming down right now. Hopefully, he's going to turn the key. Hopefully, I don't get wet. We're going to figure this out. All right, guys. Kid came down here and helped us out. He already took off. But he's got homework to do, so, he's being responsible. We want to encourage that behavior. So, we'll give him a pass. And, all right, don't pay no attention to this little, don't even worry about that. There's been some concern. I got a plan, so. You didn't even see it, right? It's gone now. Don't worry about it. All right, so where we're at. You see in there, right? Up on the top up there, you see that's the new shiny lines, all the new clamps, dry as a bone. These little guys over here, which is coming off of the top of the tank, dry as a bone. Where's it coming from? Because obviously this is wet, and we got a puddle, and it smells bad in here. So you see that orange line behind the 2 black ones? That comes off the top of the tank, goes into this little plastic canister thing, and it shoots that way. And then these 2 lines turn the hard lines and go. So something back in there is leaking. Because I was staring up top when the kid came and turned the key, and then back behind here, so and it sprayed all in here and kind of, it was a mist, So, there's the good news. The stuff we put on, legit. And we got some more good news. You guys see I changed my shirt? This is the I don't care if I get fuel over it shirt. Yeah, because I was pretty sure I was getting wet. Luckily, I didn't, and I'm just happy. So I guess we don't need all 6 bolts. So everybody that made fun of me for that, there you go, it wasn't leaking. And all the stuff I put on is legit. So I feel a little bit better about myself. I don't feel like, as much of a failure, but I still failed because I reinstalled that other stuff, and obviously I screwed something up there. I'm not going to see what it is tonight because it's cold, and I can deal with that. I don't want to lay in a puddle of fuel to look for it. But most importantly, BW's Garage, the live chat's about to start in like 15 minutes. So I'm not going to stick around down here, mess with this guy, but I could be chatting with B-Dubs and all those guys. So we're going to shut her down for the night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys. You already know it's not the next day. And this might sound like a broken record, but I was down here the next day. I just didn't record anything because things didn't go real well. We're trying to keep this like a PG rated thing. So, hey, if you don't believe me, ask the kid. He'll tell you because he was down here with me. So I got underneath the truck. See, it's sitting different. That's how you know, right? Yeah, obviously we did some work. Got under it. He turned the key. I was all PP'd up, glasses, goggles, whatever, trying to see where it's coming from. Because basically what's happening is it's coming up from behind, like where the frame is, and it's spraying on top of the tank. That's why I thought it was coming from the top of the tank. But when I saw it in action, we knew that wasn't it. Then I found the lines, like where they come along the frame. You see there's some rust on the frame. But that transferred onto the lines, and it's not a good situation over there. So what I was going to do was my first initial hack job idea. Cut it, put a piece of hose on it, clamp both sides, call it a day. And before you call me too much of a hack, I did that on the side of road in my 97 Dakota. And then I drove the truck for like 4 years after that. So it works. I don't want to hear it. But I said, you know what? Let's try and turn over a new leaf, right? Let's try and do it the right way. I priced some lines for this truck. Forget about it. Like $400 to get the pre-made stuff. And not going to happen. Then shopped around a little bit, found a spool of some of them, some 5/16 line, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to make it work for about $30. It seems like a way better plan. So that's what we're about to do. About to get after it. Gonna start. I don't need the truck doing this. I kind of got to have it doing this. So we'll change up this whole jack configuration and see how this works out. All right, guys. So obviously we resituated the jacks instead of it being like she's which is perfect because these fuel lines, they run right along this frame rail here. I don't know which one was leaking, whether it was the pressure or the return. I feel it's the return because it seemed like I had enough time to come up here and then come back, and doesn't matter. They both look like trash, so they're both getting replaced. So basically it's just, 2 lines. Should be good to go. It's about a 5-foot distance. 2 lines, carry the 1. Yeah, 25 feet should be plenty. So what else we got? We come over here and we'll probably get that guy out of the way and get a better reach in there where the fuel filter is and lines come in and all that kind of stuff. It shouldn't be too bad. And then, here's a magic Amazon box. You guys know I don't understand Amazon. Like, they got a warehouse with just everything you could ever want within like a day's travel. No matter where you are in the world, it's crazy. I don't get it. I don't gotta get it. I tell Megan what I need. She makes it happen. So she's part of that magical part there, and here we go. Got 25 feet from the old Stop Shop. 5/16 line, it's transmission line, brake line, fuel line, whatever you need. There it is. I've never used this before. I know Jason used some on Country Boy Gas Garage. By the way, if you're not watching him, go check it out. He's got a badass bus he's putting together. He recommended it. He said, as long as you have a good flaring tool, because it does kind of scar it up pretty good. Now, these are fuel lines, right? You guys saw the lines on this truck. They're all pretty much hose clamped. If you go in the hose clamp, this little guy, with no flare or anything, it's a little bit of pressure and then you got a leak, right? You don't want that. So we do have, from Eastwood Tools here, a real nice flaring kit. One of the tools I didn't go cheap on, and this bad dog is amazing. We needed this for the bubble flares on the Eldorado when we did the brake lines on it. Otherwise, I never would have dropped the money. I think it was like $200, but then I used it, and it was worth every last bit. So when we do that, I will show you how that all works. And yeah, I guess there's nothing left to do but get to work. All right, guys, so as you can tell, things have escalated. Now, actually, it looks terrible, right? It looks like I just tore this thing apart. It took like 10 minutes, and it was simple, right? So if you're changing a fuel pump on one of these trucks, lift the bed. Don't do it the way I did it before, because this is simple. All I did, open this guy up, okay? You got 3 screws that hold this guy in, right? And then 4 mount bolts, one on each corner. One there, and then 2 in the back. And that's it. You come right in here now, right? Right to your hoses. All you have to do is take these 2 hoses off, pop this thing out, put it back together. Now, I know this thing was a mess, so it's good it came out and we did everything we did. But if you're just changing the pump, forget about it, right? So now what we're going to do, we'll come to this, guys, take these 2 off. I'm just going to drop down here and then run the new lines with the old lines. I'm not taking the old ones out because they're caked in there with dirt and everything else. So rather than wrestle this thing in and doing everything I went through, I'm telling you guys, if you got one of these trucks, and I'm pretty sure all these little mini trucks are the same way. I know I had a Dodge Ram 50 and it was the same. Simple. So don't fight if you don't have to, right? So then we came up here, and, like I said, I got that out of the way. There was a bracket holding this in. It kind of came out. Took that off just so we can get down in there and not get caught on anything. So I think we're about ready to actually start some installation. All right, so before actually we start installing anything, there's a couple things I want to touch on that I know you guys already saw. All right, one of them is this monstrosity right here. It's terrible. I get it. I didn't miss it when I bought it. I saw it. But it's just right here. If you look, the rest of the frame is solid, right? Obviously, this is the side that spins because it's starting right here too, right? So, but now, this thing's out of the way. We can get in here easy, cut that out, weld a plate in, done. Easy day, easy repair, not a big deal. And then, we'll cut this out and fix that too. So, I know there was some concern on it. Not to worry, we got a plan. Speaking of concern, so, yeah, I get it. It's sketch. But if you remember, when we pulled that motor out of John's truck, this guy was like doing this the whole time. And I think the kid even put like a little thing right here that said, this will be the last engine pull. And it has been, right? Because this isn't an engine. But I forgot and didn't order a new one. So I fixed it. Sure. All right, guys, here's a perfect opportunity to tell you to look at stuff in a different angle sometimes. So I'm under here. Obviously, this is disconnected now, right? The fuel filter, and this is the feed line. So I'm down here and I'm messing with it, and I'm getting aggravated. It's taking forever, right? Then I was like, wait a minute, guys. Come on, let's look over here. Here's the line right here. I cut it because, well, same reason I cut stuff on the Jeep. This stuff was just basically welded on there. But yeah, you can reach it right here. They actually did a good job. Here's the other one. You can get to the screw right there and everything. So rather than, so you can see it right there. Here I am, thinking I got to work on it from here, and I'm just fighting it and fighting it. When, take a step back, right? Nissan actually didn't do too bad a job of this. You can get that stuff right there. And like I said, we can get over here and get right on the pump. Not a bad gig when you take a step back and stop fighting it. All right, you guys ain't gonna believe what I just did. You see I got my I don't care if I got fuel shirt on it, right? A jacket, whatever this thing is. So I showed you I cut the line in the front because, like I said, I didn't have a choice. It was like melted on there, and I'm not going to fight with it. It just doesn't make sense. We're placing it in anyways. So I'm messing with fuel. So what I did, because trying to figure out which one of these lines was like, the lines as they went down the frame, they kind of did this, and then they kind of did this, and then they intermingled with some brake lines. And so trying to figure out which was pressure, which was the return. I didn't want to mess it up. So I said, I came with this brilliant idea. So what I'll do, I got that line disconnected. I'll take a little air back here, disconnect the line, see what happens. I got it. I'm going to spray a little bit of fuel, but we got so much fuel on the floor out here. I don't know if it really matters at this point in the game. So I did that, and it worked flawless. Yeah? Came out right here. See the lines cut right here? And guess what it sprayed on? Yeah. The jacket I took off, I didn't want to get anything on. You can't make this stuff up, you know? But, so we're getting to that part of the night where I'm starting to get a little punchy, you know what I mean? Where you start doing stupid stuff like that. So we're going to stop for the night. I'm just going to call it because, yeah, we're actually making progress, and before we get crazy, let's just go ahead and, stop where we're ahead, right? So that being said, this is where I'm going to end this video too, guys. I know you're probably not real happy about it because, the truck looks like that. But this is one of those things that it seems that we didn't get a whole lot accomplished, but we really did. We did, any monkey can, change a part out. I'm living proof of that, right? So that's, that is what it is. But to actually do some troubleshooting, figure things out, see how everything works. That's what we did on this episode. So we got, we had that leak that was just everywhere. We figured out that our repair was actually good. So all you guys, and you know who you are, that were like, Chaz, what were you thinking? You didn't put the screw in? What's the matter with you? It worked. So call me a hack. It worked. But we also figured out, the kid came down, helped me out, and we did some troubleshooting. We did it off camera, but figuring out exactly where the leak was coming from. So we did that. Then we saw the lines were bad. Okay, well, we're not going to put that back together. Yeah, if it was the side of the road, like I said, you could have cut it, put a tube in there, or a piece of hose, called it a day. We're not trying to do that kind of stuff. Yeah, I got it with the fuel pump. But, and we'll talk about that later. But, yeah, this, we want to do it right. So we ordered the lines came in, we got that. You see, we're starting to plummet, but, well, not plummet like, but plumb the truck. So, we want to do things right, and I'm just gonna. That's what it is. This is how we're going to end it. We're going to end it right now with the truck half taken apart. Looks like one of the mini trucks we went back in the day with the dump beds and stuff. Yeah. So if you want to see how this all turns out, looks like you're gonna have to tune in again next week, because it ain't coming out of the shop. We're getting this thing going. All right. So make sure you guys are liking, sharing, subscribing, ringing the bell, telling your friends, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.